Hi, thanks for coming on. Andy with you here on Sunday, November the 21st, looking back at the games in Scotland and the National Leagues. And just to say, I'll be back tomorrow night, Monday, because we've got a full fixture list in the National League on Tuesday, and we've got some other games in the National League North and South, I think it is. So I'm working on that at the moment, but I will be back tomorrow with those. This table, then, I had quite a few emails about this, and this is probably one of the most important bits when it comes to betting on football. And I've done a couple of other little tables where I've broken it down for you, so because a couple of people have asked different questions. Now, these were 15 teams that were rated over 40. Okay, so, and as you can see, only 6 of them had value in. Now, had you backed all 15, 8-1, you'd have made a profit of 2.25 points. Profit on investment, 15%. Now, that is something I would take every week. You know, as I always say, a point a week is what I sort of look for. Profit on investment of 15% will do me. I'm happy to live on a point a week. It really is that simple. But what I've done is I've made the table into 2, and we'll look at the first one here. Now, this is the one, again, they're all over 40%, but these are the teams with the value in. Okay, so, you know, 0.7 down to 0.05. It wasn't a great week for teams with value in the plus 40s, but this is just something. We ended up with 6 selections, 4-1, 3.38, profit on investment 56.33. That's massive. That's never unsustainable. Okay, that just doesn't happen. But this is just to show the difference why you cannot get involved in these other teams, no matter how high the rating is. Because if we look at this table, 8 selections, 4 winners, a loss of 1.13. and, you know, a loss profit on investment of minus 14%. So just purely by backing the teams with the value in makes such a difference. I mean, Dundee United was by far the best of them, as I did say when I'd done the original video last Thursday. But I mean, 0.27 and that's okay. You know, this isn't okay, really. It is in conjunction with the ratings, but I mean, I couldn't have backed Queen's Park and I couldn't have backed Stranraer. They were 2 teams which I couldn't have backed yesterday. Interesting. I don't know if any of you read the Racing Post. I hardly bother, but Stephen Davis in there, he put up 2 bets. He put up Partick, which 8 to 13, no value in it, and he also put up East Fife against Clyde. Now, I think he done East Fife double chance, but still, very little thought went into that, and it was because if you looked, he said East Fife managed to get a result at Queen's Park, a draw. Yeah, that's fine. That looks good on the surface when you just compare Queen's Park's league position. But if you scratch further, like you must do, and they don't at the Racing Post, and this just emphasises why they all lose, is that you wouldn't have backed Queen's Park against East Fife, even no matter how good it came out on your figures the other week, because you're talking about a team in Queen's Park that are unable to break teams down. And this is being highlighted week by week by week. They were turned over at Peterhead yesterday. I know I'm going off on one on here, but just to say that to put up a team 56%, 8 to 13, there's no value in it. You can't give punters, backers, bets like that. I wouldn't dream of giving a bet like that out to anybody. Honestly, it doesn't matter what my figures say. This could be 99%. If this figure here was still in the minus, I wouldn't touch it. It's really, really poor show from the Racing Post to give out the Partick bet and to give out the East Fife to have a chance at Clyde. It doesn't matter what Clyde are like. We know that East Fife aren't capable on the road, and you're opposing a team who's got a 48% chance of winning, and there was value in the bet. I didn't actually back Clyde. Out of all the 3 bets I had of these teams were Dundee United, Alloa and Forfarers I gave to members, and I sort of steered everybody towards them anyway, didn't I, in the video? But I mean, if somebody's backed Clyde, brilliant, good on you. I mean, because they were rated to win, there was value in the bet, it was a high enough rating. It was me sort of putting in my own two penneth worth, if you like. But you know, to oppose Clyde with a team like East Fife just because of the result they got against Queen's Park, what's he going to do next week? Because Peterhead have beaten Queen's Park, he's going to tip Peterhead to beat whoever they've got. It's honestly, please guys, whatever you do, if you don't follow me, take one piece of advice from me: is do not follow the Racing Post. Honestly, it's garbage. But anyway, to end of rant. So I'm just saying that the teams rated over 40% with value. That was fantastic week's betting. That really is. It's fantastic week's betting. You know, that, as I say, that's excessively high. But if you could come out with profit of 3.3, then yeah, that's a great week. And as I say, on the negative ones, even though these were all nicely rated over 40, you would have made a loss because there was absolutely no value in any of those bets. And the biggest bet that I did highlight when I'd done this table was both rated 40%, Dundee United and Hearts, 0.25 loss, 0.7 profit. We actually opposed Hearts, we backed Motherwell. We'll come on to that now. So we had 3 bets in the Premiership. We done Dundee United to beat Aberdeen. Decent result for us. Pleased that Dundee United won. Aberdeen's form away from home is atrocious. They've won once, and that was an injury-time goal against Livingston when Livy were badly out of form. Motherwell 2, Hearts 0. We were with Motherwell. It was a bet I ummed and ahed on, but it was the sheer fact that Motherwell's 2 last home defeats were against Celtic and Rangers, and Hearts are so negative. I could see Motherwell winning this game, and I like the fact there was half a point in it at 33%. St Mirren Livingston, that was 1-1. We went with Livy, 1.5 in it. I had to back them. You know, if you're getting 16-5, about 13 to 8 shots, and you know the figures sort of 30% or over. I mean, 1.5 in it. You know you've got to back teams when there's a 1.5 in at 38%. You have to do it. It doesn't matter about how it gets on a week by week basis. It's about the long term, and you know they're the right bets to have. Championship, didn't do anything in the Championship. I mean, I did say at the time there was enough in Queen of the South, but I don't trust them. I've never trusted Queen of the South. Any result wouldn't have surprised me here. Inverness were rated to win, they did, but they're not a top side, Inverness, regardless of that result on Friday. Dunfermline Ayr. Now, I mean, I said every week, haven't I? You know, I know somebody who's connected with the club, goes all the time. He's been saying that he's been bigging Dunfermline up to me ever since the start of the season. And maybe now, they won last week, they've won this week, the first 2 wins of the season. They've had a lot of draws as well. It's not like they've been being hammered every week. They could now just maybe it's that they've turned that corner. I would have been prepared to back them anyway. You know, there would have had to be more. I would want at least, I don't know, 6-4, 13-8 maybe. I would have considered it because you're taking a chance with a team that's only won 1 game all season. I think this figure was that's a good figure, 0.6 at 34%, but you know they're not a very good side, and this figure was probably well, not probably, I know it is. This figure was higher because of Dunfermline's league position, but as I say, I do know that Dunfermline are better, and I say it every week. Hopefully, it will come to fruition, and you know we can get some money out of them. Kilmarnock nil Arbroath 1. Bookmakers' prices up dead right, as I said. I didn't touch the game, couldn't have touched the game. There was nothing in it. I thought Killy would probably win. They're not a great side. The title's wide open this season. I think it really is, and brings me on to the next game. Partick Hamilton, rated to win Partick. As I say, the Racing Post putting them up is ridiculous. If the Racing Post are going to take 8 to 13, about 4 to 5, and you're going to happily do that, brilliant. Do that. You won't win in the long term, I promise. There was half a point in Hamilton, not enough at 20%. So yeah, it was a no bet game for us. Wraith 2, Morton 1. Again, Wraith rated to win. Now, I mean, they both had decent ratings, Wraith and Partigan, and I did say I expected them both to win on figures, but I think both these games would have been games that would have left you sweating a bit. There was nothing in Morton. I don't back Morton anyway. So, League 1, Airdrie 0, Cove 2. I think this does emphasise that Airdrie are probably short of what's required to win the title. I have to say, because again, this is a title which I can, maybe 4 or 5 clubs, and Cove. I think they're a team which I think now are starting to show better form. I wasn't overly impressed with Cove early season, but at the moment they're showing better form. They were rated 3% below Airdrie, but there was nothing in the price, and again, it was a game that we didn't have any involvement with. Obviously, for outright purposes, Airdrie. Alloa Dumbarton, Alloa 1, Dumbarton 2. This surprised me. Alloa, the performances against the top teams, the Falkirks, etc., Montrose, has been absolutely outstanding, and a perfect opportunity to record a home win against a Dumbarton team that isn't very good, that is bottom 4 material, and they can't get over the line, and it is so frustrating. And I think what adds to that frustration is they went behind, and the minute they went behind, they got the game level. And you think, oh, they're going to go on and win it now, but they don't. And I really, really can't offer any reason as to why Alloa aren't performing in games like this. I mean, you go away to the likes of Queen's Park, Falkirk and that, but you can't get a result at home to Dumbarton. That's a mental thing, it has to be. And, as I say, I mean, 11 to 10, I was on, quite happy to take it. I mean, I do this bit every week. It doesn't, one result doesn't change my, overall long-term picture on stuff. Clyde East Fife, Clyde, we could have backed Clyde. We could have backed Clyde, and had I read the Racing Post and seen that they'd gone with East Fife win or draw, I'd have probably backed Clyde out of spite, actually. I didn't, but because I know that they talk out their backsides, and, East Fife or draw at 52%, you got the odds in your favour at 52%. Not the odds, you got the percentages in your favour. But what price are you getting? Ridiculous, to absolute amateur stuff from somebody who's been writing on football for that length of time. To put up a bet like that beggars belief. It really does. Now, had I been working for the Racing and Football Outlook and that had been put up, I would have, I probably would have put Clyde up in my column on purpose, because I knew that was such a bad bet, and that's bad business. And honestly, you can tell that bookmakers have an influence, can't you? I've got to apologise about this massively, because this was a major error on my part when I priced this up. Now, if you go back to my original video, I've got Montrose in at 12 to 5, which is left that figure at 0.33. Now, at 0.33 at 35%, I was umming and ahhing whether to back Montrose. When I've gone through the results, and Montrose are at 13 to 5, there was actually 0.72 in Montrose. That was a bet, and we didn't do it. And I have to hold my hands up and apologise to members. I have to apologise to members. I have to apologise to people that watch the video, because at 0.72 at 35%, I would have been all over it. Why I've wrote that down at 12 to 5, I can only apologise. And it's taught me one thing this weekend, that I will not be writing the prices down again. I will be printing out the prices, and I will be doing my normal stuff writing. But it's the second time this has happened to me. It happened to me last season, and it's happened to me this season. And I wrote a team down last season, believe it or not, at 11 to 4, that should have been 11 to 2. And I don't know why. I don't know whether it's an age thing or being under pressure or what, but That was 12. I wrote that down at 12 to 5, and it should have been 13 to 5. And at 13 to 5 means there's 0.72 in the bet. And at 35% with 0.72, that's a bet. And they won, which makes matters worse. We've missed a 13 to 5 winner, which is absolutely gutting. I'm furious about it. I mean, we had a good week. We made profit. But that should have been a bet. And because I've wrote 12 to 5 instead of 13 to 5, yeah, that's my fault. So I will be printing the prices and doing my usual workings from printed prices. Falkirk, 37%, they were even money. You can't back an even money shot when they should be 17 to 10. You're going to lose every week or, in the long term. Petehead 2, Queen's Park 1. I've said about Queen's Park for weeks now. They've been out of form. They're unable to break teams down. It's all pretty keeping the football, but there's zero end product. Unless they start playing, I don't know whether more attractive front foot football, but it's okay having these high possession stats and not doing anything with it. It's not a hard thing to get a team to do to keep the ball, but they really have to start winning these games, or they're going to slip away. And that's why, regardless they were rated this highly and there was 0.05, and it wasn't a bet for me. And sometimes you do have to personally involve yourself in this. Like that was a bad move to oppose Clyde. That should have been a bet. But I mean, had we backed Clyde and we backed Queen's Park, we'd have ended up with an extra profit of 0.2 from the two bets. So extra 10% profit on investment, which is okay. But as I say, it's sometimes you've got to have a tiny bit of personal involvement, and in these two games I did. But this game really hurts because we should have been with Montrose. Move on to League Two. Annan 1, Albion 1. Wasn't a game for us really. Annan were too short, and there wasn't enough in Albion. 0.2 at 31%. Game finished a draw. Didn't surprise me. Forfar Cowdenbeath, we were with Forfar. Highest rated team of the weekend, 65%. Should have been 8 to 15, they were 8 to 30. So we were getting value, and it was rated to win. You couldn't get a better bet than that. I've just watched Manchester City Everton, and I gave Manchester City exactly the same figure to beat Everton as Forfar to beat Cowdenbeath. Now, go and see what price Manchester City were. Why do you want to back this Premiership football, guys? Why do you want to get involved in this Premiership football when you're having to take 5 to 1 on for a 65% chance when you can get 8 to 13 in Scotland? People that do that, rocks in your head. Kelty Steny, 59, 23, 18 Steny. I gave a chance to, but Kelty, they're too good. It's that simple. We're getting towards the end of November. They've not lost a game all season. They're not even at their best, and they're winning these games. They will lose a game or two this season through complacency, but they go out, they keep the ball, they do what's required, they keep a clean sheet. They're so hard to beat. They're going to win the league. I can't see anything else. Stirling Mud Edinburgh 2. Again, I said to you, Owen, about Stirling Albion, they're not to be trusted. There was 0.1 in Edinburgh, but you can't take 0.1 at 29%. You're going to lose 71% of the time. You're going to make a profit in the long run, but you're going to lose 71% of the time. And that losing runs like that are too frustrating for everybody. Stranraer 1, Elgin 0. Again, this was another bet that I had a bit of personal involvement in because I refused to back them. There was 0.27 at 47%. And again, like the Clyde bet and the Queen's Park bet, they're bets that I would usually make, but Stranraer are a team that I don't trust. They sort of fall into that Queen of the South and Morton bracket, if you like. I've made strong cases for Stranraer many times before where you think they have to win, and they go and let you down, and it really, really isn't. They're not betting material. The table, we've been through the table. I'll do that again next week because I did have some real positive emails about that. And you're not going to get this every week. Just to say this now, this is, you're not going to get profit on investment of 56% every week. That doesn't happen. Let's go on to the National League. I got this completely wrong. Eastleigh 2, Notts County 0. I didn't see this coming at all. Notts County rated to win, value in the bet, rated over 50%, you got to bet it. Solihull 0, Chesterfield 2. Chesterfield's away form, as I say, to me, it hadn't been good enough. I made a strong case for Solihull, 0.48 in it. It didn't come off. Apologies. Woking 1, Stockport 2. Should have been odds on Stockport. We were with them 6-5, so there's enough in that. So we made a bit on Stockport. Boreham Wood and Bromley, they were both rated 60% plus and 1. We'll come to that table quickly at the end as well. National League North, disappointed with the results here. Darlington 2, Gloucester 2. I think they were 2 down, Darlington. And last week they were 2 up. Don't understand it. 2 in and out. Hereford 1, Chester 0. There was a bit in Hereford. We were with Hereford. Leamington 1, Southport 1. We were with Leamington. Southport team have got me on to back Tuesday night as well. So make sure you come on for tomorrow night's video. York 1, Kettering 2. Couldn't see anything else other than a York victory here. 17% Kettering. They go and win. Got it wrong. National League South, Maidstone 1, Chippenham 0. This, as I said, it was really, really outstanding value bet, Chippenham. But it didn't come off, so it's academic. Maidstone were rated to win, but, you know, I mean, that's just something that, you know, Maidstone were rated to win that game and Chesterfield were rated to win that game. So, you know, sometimes you've got to oppose these teams which are rated to win. Ebbsfleet, 65% against Welling. That was the same rating as I gave Forfar as well. So they absolutely thumped Welling, didn't they? I think it was 5 or 6-0 or something. Anyway, let's go on. Here's the National League table. Disappointing. So we were 1.2 down with 4.9. So we lost 3.7 points on the National League this week. That's really disappointing, I have to say. And only one of the best 3 bets won. So that's 1 from 3, 2 from 3, 3 from 6 of the best bets have won so far in the National League. But that's a disappointing. That's disappointing after 2 weeks, and I'm just not going to worry about anything because, as I say, it only needs 1 or 2 of these results to change, doesn't it? And things are completely different. And bear in mind what I did say up here. My 1 point at National League is worth half of what I stake on Scottish. Let's have a look at the 60% non-value rated trial table, which I expected massive losses on, and as you can see, 6 bets, they've all won. Had you backed all of these, you'd be 2.95 points up, which is really good. I have to say, that's 6 bets, 2.95. You're running there on a profit on investment of almost 50%, which is really good. I have to say that's really, really good. And this, just to say, this is working the complete opposite of Scotland and English football. Because when I get teams rated over 60% with non-value, stats over the years in Scotland and English football always show a loss. And that's why I said here, I think it'll be a loss on investment of 7.5 to 17.5. So, you know, I don't know. Next week you could find 3, they could all lose. Then this brings this down to a minus, doesn't it? And you know, it just depends. I mean, there'll probably be, well, I think there'll be 1 or 2 Tuesday that are over 60% of non-value. So it's interesting. But we made 3 points. I think Scotland. Let's just quickly go through. We made 2.2, 4.7. We lost a point there, so that was 3.7. 2.7 we lost there. So we're 2.7 up plus this, which is point. So we made 3.31 points on Scottish football, and the National League. We lost 3.7. So we lost half. We lost 1.85 because obviously this is half of what I do on Scotland. So I've made around 1.5 points this week combined on both leagues. So that's good enough for me. A point a week gets me my living. 1.5 is fine. So I've made what I'm, I've made my salary, if you like, from this week, because I say these are half, and that is something that if you've got a field of expertise, you always want to be having more on than your other fields. Like, as I say, international football is adjusted, national league's adjusted, Scottish football is where I have my biggest bets, and so I've had a really, really good week on the Scottish football. I've had a really, really bad week on the non-league football, and had my stakes been the same, I would have ended up losing. So that's why it pays. But this is really interesting. Every team rated over 60% that's got no value in has won. 6 from 6. So interesting. But that's it, guys. There's the review. I hope you had a good weekend. If I did steer you towards most of those Scottish members' bets in the videos anyway, as I do try to most of the time. I don't actually come out and say, oh, this is a members' bet, but I do sort of indicate to you, what I'm betting, and like the front of the video, as I always say, the front of the video is always a members' bet. Like this week I put it up with side of Forfars ground, so the week before I don't know, but you can tell I guide you towards it, and that's what I try to do without actually giving them to you. But yeah, it was a decent weekend. Non-league wasn't so good, but 1.5 or whatever it was combined over the two is good enough for me. And we'll be back Tuesday. There's a bit of Scottish action this week, and I'll have a look at that today. I don't think there's going to be anything there, but National League there definitely will be. So check in Tuesday. I'll speak to you then. Bye for now.